We're going to switch into our reading lesson right now, and I'd like for you, if you can do so quickly, to please get those notes open to yesterday. So remember those notes that we took about the question words and the type of answer that we're looking for? Go ahead and grab those really quick. And if you weren't here yesterday morning, remember I've uploaded all of our lessons onto that YouTube channel so that you can go back and complete this lesson at another time. So please don't try to catch up right now. Just stay focused on what we're teaching, and then you'll be able to catch up when you have some work time later, okay? All right. So we have been talking a lot about asking and answering questions. And if you remember yesterday, I shared this scale with you that has our target. So remember, in 3rd grade, you have a goal of asking questions to show understanding of a text. Yesterday, we did a really nice job of that with the text about Alex and his KDs. A lot of you were able to come up with questions that had that explicit answer. Remember, you can touch explicit answers. You can touch them right there in the text and see them. And I didn't have any questions that were implicit. So we got that one down pat. Your second goal is to answer questions to show understanding of a text. You're going to get a little more practice with that today with answering questions about a text, okay? So these are your 2 goals, asking questions and answering them. So remember, who means you are looking for a person or a character. In a book like the Berenstain Bears, we're not going to see a lot of people because all the animals or all the characters are animals. So it's not always a person. A where means you are looking for a place. And remember, we talked about how place might be the name of a place, like a cafeteria or Indian Creek, but it might also be a location that's descriptive, like my water bottle is on top of my desk. That's also a place that's not necessarily the name of a location, but it's where it's at. When means a time, date, or day of the week, sometimes a season, a month, something like that. How and why means we want a reason. So remember, we talked about this one a lot. When your mom or your dad or your auntie or uncle says, "Why did you?" and you're in trouble, they're looking for a reason that you did something. Or if they're asking you, "How did I want this to be done?" They're looking for a way or a reason that that needed to be done that way. How many means a number or an amount, okay? This is a quick review, and you have it in your notebook as well. So let's review. Remember that sign language from yesterday? I'm going to ask you to show me that sign language. So let's review. This is A. Remember, flat hand, fingers down, thumb on the inside touching your fingers. That's A. And remember, guys, I have my other laptop here so I can see all y'all's beautiful faces showing me your answers. And then B, flat hand, put your thumb over into your palm. B. Then we have C, and that one's easy because it looks just like the letter. So again, A, B, or C. I'm going to scroll through and look at your answers. I want you to tell me the right answer. Look at the question and determine which word is missing. Blank, do we go to lunch? Blank, do we go to lunch? What word goes in that blank? A, what? B, when? Or C, which? What letter answer goes in that blank? Show me on your hands. I'm going to come look through. A, B, or C? Okay. Q, I need your answer. Jalen, Kennedy, show me. Oh, Kennedy, you are. I apologize. I see it. Good. Okay. Alicia, can you show me your answer? Zandon? Okay. All right. So we have quite a few people that got this one, and then we have quite a few who were kind of confused. So listen. A, what do we go to lunch? Does that make sense? What do we go to lunch? No. So A doesn't make sense. B, when do we go to lunch? That makes sense. That means I need to know the time that we go to lunch. When do we go to lunch? So I'm thinking B right now. Let's check out C. Which do we go to lunch? No, that doesn't work. So B, that's the correct answer. When do we go to lunch? Awesome. Let's check out this one. Blank flavor of milk would you like? Blank flavor of milk would you like? Which question word goes there? Why, when, or which? Blank flavor of milk would you like? Think about it. Show me that sign language. Blank flavor of milk would you like? Good. Thank you, John. Thank you, Aiden G. Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you, Leah. I got you, Kennedy, Jalen, Sin-Q. Marissa, what's your answer? Beautiful. Thanks, girl. Sophia, Josiah, Colton, what's your answer, bud? Oh, you can just show me with the sign language, baby. A, B, or C. Okay, you're doing C. Show me with that sign language by doing that hold up there. Good, I got them. Okay, I see everybody's answer. Awesome, guys. Everybody got it. C is correct. Which flavor of milk would you like? It's a choice. Which one? You have choices there. Good. Next one. Blank, did he walk away? Blank, did he walk away? Where, why, or who? Make sure you put that answer into that blank and see which one makes sense. A, where did he walk away? B, why did he walk away? Or C, who did he walk away? Coming through to scan. I'll mute everybody here.
You're muted.
Thank you very much. That was my fault. Okay, I thought this one would trick us, but most of us were thinking very critically. The correct answer is why. Why did he walk away? I thought the trick would be where. Listen to this. Where did he walk away? We would normally say, where did he walk to? Or where did he go? Okay, so we're missing a word here to make that make sense. So why did he walk away is our correct answer there. Very good. All right, we got this down. So I'm going to go ahead and skip that next one. And I want to go over our steps. So remember, yesterday, we got this one down and very clearly we nailed it. We know keywords help us find out what we're looking for. It's those question words. We're going to move on to step 2 today. Find clues to define exactly what the question asks. So clue words are still inside of that question, okay? Here's an example. Look at this. When, this is a when question, so we know we're looking for a time. When do we go to lunch? So we're asking about lunch. We don't care about recess. We don't care about going home. We don't care about related arts. All we care about is lunch. So lunch is going to be a very important keyword for me here. Now check this out. Mrs. Sousa said the schedule is very different this year. Last year, we went to recess right after lunch. This year, we go to recess at 2 p.m. 2 p.m., that's a time, that's a time. But wait, look, our answer is asking about lunch. Do we care about recess's time? Nope, good. Terrence is with me. He said, no, 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 no. So we care about lunch. So let's keep reading. We go to lunch about 3 hours earlier at 11:15 a.m. Now look at this. This is so interesting. The question says, when do we go to lunch? Look what the answer says. We go to lunch. Do you see how those can kind of clue and give me a signal that I'm in the right spot? That's why it's important to understand the question before you ever start looking to read. That way you know you find the right thing. So our answer is 11:15 a.m. Okay? This one. Who is Jeremy's best friend? Who is Jeremy's best friend? I want you to think about this. Who is Jeremy's best friend? What kind of friend do we care about? I'm looking at your mouths. Go ahead and answer. What kind of friend do we care about? Leah says best. Sin-Q is yawning. Okay, we're looking for his best friend, okay? I want you to look through this text. See if you can find the person that is his best friend and type that answer in the chat. Can you find the person who is his best friend and type it in the chat for me? And I'm going to check that out in the chat here. Who is his best friend? Okay, I have 2 answers. Who is his best friend? I have 8 answers. There's 23 of us on this, guys. Alicia, I see your message that I'm lagging. Can you try moving to a different spot in the room or in your house to see if your internet connection is stronger? Go ahead and move somewhere and see if it's stronger. I have 13 answers. I'm waiting on 9. Okay. Make sure your answer can be touched in the text. I'm seeing some people put names that are not in the story. So remember, this isn't about your friend Jeremy. This is about the text. So make sure you can put your finger explicitly on that answer. Good. I'm waiting on 2 answers. 2 answers. Okay. So let's take a look here. I've switched to my fancy dot charger. Oh, excuse me. All right, there we go. Who is Jeremy's best friend? These are the words I'm looking for. Best friend. Mr. McKinney's 3rd grade class has lots of boys. I haven't read about best friend yet. Jeremy and his best friend. Oh, look at that. Best friend, best friend. Jeremy and his best friend, Juan, get to sit together. Look, I found his name. Best, friend, friend. There's a name. It's got that capital letter. Juan. Get to sit together almost all day. Jeremy likes his new class and new friends. So we were able to use those question clue words to help us find our answer. So Juan is his best friend, okay? So these questions or these clue words really help us figure out that answer. All right, I'm going to actually skip through this really quick. And we are going to take some notes. So I want you to get that notebook ready, please. Get that notebook ready. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen so you can see my notes. And I want you guys to remember, if you need more time to record these, I'm always going to upload a picture of them onto Seesaw at the end of the lesson. Or you can go back and watch the YouTube video during a work time to get the more time that you need, okay? So I will go slow, but if you ever need more time, don't freak out. You have 2 places that you can find it when we're done, okay? All right, so I'm on the next page of my reading notebook, and I'm gonna unplug my headphones here so I can move my head. And we are going to write down why clue words are important, okay? So up top, I want you to write your title of Attack the Question. Attack the question. And that marker is kind of going out on me. So attack the question. Here we go. I'll move this a little bit. Got to figure that out. There we go. Attack the question. Right there. Attack the question. Step 1, and remember I will also put it in the chat here, is to box the key word. Box the, oh, and I accidentally sent that to one person privately. That won't work. There we go. Box the keyword. That's what I'm writing here. It's in the chat if you're still struggling to see. Box the keyword. And that's from yesterday's review. We just didn't write it down because it was new to us. And I'm going to put a box around the word box so that my brain has a visual of it. So box the keyword. Remember also, if I'm a small screen, you can pin my screen to make me larger so you can see my words by clicking on those 3 dots in my square and clicking on pin video. Let me give us a couple seconds here. So Josh, remember you can make my screen bigger by going over my square on your Zoom. Click those 3 dots and you can click on pin video, P-I-N-V-I-D-E-O, pin video, and it'll make my square the largest square. There, yeah, I see those big eyes. Now you can see better, good. Remember, I'm also typing what you're writing in the chat, so you can copy it from the chat as well. The second step that we're going to write today, and our last one, is to underline the clue words. Underline the clue words.
And be attaching it in the stuff, so you'll be able to finish your notes at a later time.
And we're going to underline that word underline, so we know what that means. Underline the clue words. The last thing that we're going to record in our notes is an example, okay? So our example is going to be a question about a book that we read on that first day together. Remember this book? My Mouth is a Volcano? A lot of you thought this book was really funny, so I thought it would be a good one to relate to for an example, okay? So we're going to pretend we have a question about this text here, and we're going to box the keyword and underline the clue word so we can find the answer in a text, okay? So the question is, why did Lewis always interrupt? Why did Lewis always interrupt? And I'm going to type that in the chat. Why did Lewis always interrupt? Oh, and I sent that to Josh again. I need to send that to everyone. Sorry, Josh, you get it twice. There we go. Why did Lewis always interrupt? This is our example question. Terrence, yes, sir.
I wasn't there to listen to the book.
Yes, so you'll use this question as an example. We're not going to have to remember the answer. We can go back to the text later if we need to, but this is just an example so we can see how to attack the question. Okay? All right. So now we're going to attack that question, which is another way to say we're going to figure out what in the world is this asking me, okay? So we're going to box that keyword. This is a why question. So I'm going to put a box around that word why, because that's a big clue to me that I'm looking for a reason or an explanation, okay? Why is this happening? We need a reason. I'm going to change that color. I keep forgetting that marker's going out on me. So why did Lewis always interrupt? So we're not looking for a time that he interrupted. We're not looking for a way that he interrupted. We're looking for a reason. Why? An explanation as to why he did this. Okay? Josiah, you're moving around a lot, bud. Have a seat for me. Thanks, bub. And then our clue words tell us what we're looking for, what explanation. So why did Lewis always interrupt? We're looking for information about Lewis. So we're going to underline Lewis, and we're going to underline what Lewis did. Always interrupt. And that tells us that we are not looking for why did Lewis stop interrupting. We're not looking for why did Lewis interrupt his sister that one time. We're looking for why did he always interrupt. Okay? So it tells us what we need to explain, which reason we need to give. Okay? This is a strategy that you can use if you come to a question that you're struggling with. So if you come to a question and you're thinking, I don't know what they want from me, what am I supposed to find? Attack that question. Figure out, first of all, what kind of answer do you need? That first word will be that clue to you. Then you can figure out what part in the text do I need to look for that in. So we're looking for the interruptions that always happened. Okay? So this is a way to attack the question. I want you to keep these notes with you as we move into our activity that you're going to be doing on Seesaw today. All right? Okay, I'm scanning. Good. I don't see any. I think we're good to go. Okay, perfect. All right. So remember, if you still need time, this is going to be uploaded on Seesaw. You can still see it in the chat, or you can watch it on YouTube later today. So I'm going to go ahead and move on, but you have this later in 3 different places, okay? All right, beautiful. So we are going to get ready to go into our activity for the day. But before I send you to that activity, I need to know if you are ready, okay? So here's what you're going to do. This says on your paper. You guys don't have paper that you can turn into me, so you're going to do it in the chat, okay? In the chat, write 2 questions you would ask about this passage. Box the keyword and underline the clue words. Now, you guys can't box and underline in the chat, but if you need to do that on your paper first to help you, please do that, okay? So you're just going to type your questions in the chat to me. This is the text that we read yesterday, so this is familiar to us, and I'm going to read it to you again. As I'm reading, I want you to think about a question that you could create. Remember, it needs to be explicit, so you should be able to touch your screen and see that answer, okay? So it's pretending like you're the teacher making the quiz. You should already know the answer, and you're just saying if we can figure it out, okay? If you need question starters, they're at the bottom. You could ask a who question, a where question, a how many question, a how did question, a what happened question, a when question, a why question, or a which question, okay? Which one? All right, I'm going to read this text. As I am reading, go ahead and start typing a question in the chat, and then I will explain our activity, okay? All right, here we go. Alex woke up one Wednesday morning. You know what? Hold on. I actually want to let our questions, I want to let everybody be able to see our questions. So let me get that ready because that might help some of us. So let me change the settings on the chat. That will be good. Okay, I'm trusting you guys. This is the first time I'm opening chat. Make sure the only thing I'm seeing are questions. Okay?
Okay.
All right, let's see. We're going to try this. I'm trusting you. Okay, so the questions that I want to see will be questions from this text, okay? All right, I'm going to go back to that story. Here we go. Alex woke up one Wednesday morning ready for another day of school. Everything felt so exciting this time of year.
He looked in his closet as he got ready for school and tried to decide which pair of KDs he would wear, blue or white. He chose the white pair because they were still fresh. He went to the kitchen to pack his lunch before he left for school. He decided to pack himself 2 apples because he wanted to give one to his teacher to make her smile. Next, he started making his sandwich. Then something terrible happened. As he was spreading mustard on the bread, the knife fell and landed flat on top of his fresh white KDs. Now there was a huge yellow stain on his new kicks. What would he do? All right, let's see those questions. You guys can look in the chat if you're needing some examples that can help you. Change what? Oh, on the, oh, I see. Okay, yep. So that's a great reminder for me. Thank you, Miss Bram. In the chat box, it says 2. Please make sure that you put everyone. I see some of you are sending it to me privately. So make sure you put everyone. So right here, this is Genova's question. What color were his shoes? It's perfect. Comes right from the text. I can touch the fact that his shoes were white. Terrence is doing the same thing. Brayden, good. I see you can type. So Brayden is on a phone and he was able to type too. I'll have to ask him how, but he was. Yep, he just said I can type, so he's sending it to me. Yep, good. Okay, Aiden says, why did he use a knife? We can touch that answer. We can see that it's to spread mustard on the bread, so that's perfect. So John, you typed an answer. Type a question for me. What question could you write about this text? Josh said, how did he drop the knife? We can touch that answer in the text. As he was spreading mustard on the bread, the knife fell and landed flat on top of his shoes, so he dropped it when he was spreading mustard. So how did he clean his KDs? This is an implicit question. We can't touch that answer. So Justin, there's no answer for this in the text. It's a great question to wonder. Can you write a question that has an answer we can touch in that text evidence? How can we touch those answers? Why did Alex choose the white pair of shoes? A great question from Ms. Kennedy. We can see the answer right there in the text here. He chose the pair because they were still fresh. Beautiful. We can touch that answer. Good, Josiah, what fell? I'm assuming that means what fell. What fell in the story? We can see that right here. The knife fell. Beautiful. The knife fell. That's a question we can touch. VNA, what happened to his KDs? We can find that in the text. They fell on top of his fresh white KDs. Those knives are gone. Those KDs have a yellow stain. Got to tie-dye them now. Leah, what pair of KDs did Alex wear? Beautiful. He chose the white pair. We can touch that text. So Terrence, you have just a question word when. I'm not sure what that question is. When what? What are you wondering?
When on Wednesday morning.
Go ahead and type that for everybody, bud. That way we can all see it. Good. All right, I love it. I'm going to take one more question. Let's get one more question typed in here. Question we haven't seen yet. There's a challenge. What's the question we haven't seen? Good, I see he fixed that question. How did he drop the knife? Excellent. That's one that we can touch. Good job. All right. Beautiful. So we're getting some answers now. Okay, I'm going to switch that chat. So now you're talking to only me. So I've turned that off for everybody. And I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to come back together. Okay, beautiful. So, how to ask and answer questions is a skill that we're going to continue to practice. You're getting ready to practice asking questions about a text that I've assigned to you on Mayan. A couple of you haven't had Mayan, so I actually recorded myself reading the book, so you could watch that as well. That way you still have access to the text, okay? You are going to ask questions about this text, and then you're going to answer some classmates' questions. So let me show you where you're going to find this assignment. As with all of our assignments, you will go to Seesaw. Most of you have that Seesaw application bookmarked, so you can just click on that icon and it will be there for you. In your activities, you have an assignment that says Busy Buzzers. And here's the directions. You can read these directions and you can also play them and I will read them to you. So you're going to read or listen to the Mayan text Busy Buzzers. Remember, if you don't have access to Mayan, I uploaded a link of me reading that book because I know some of your logins are still not working. Okay, so you have that book here. Think of questions you could ask which have explicit answers in the text, just like we just did with the Alex passage. Answers you can touch, put your finger on, okay? Write down 2 questions about the text using the note tool. Remember, you should only write down questions that have answers in the text. Do not type the answers to the questions, and here's why. After you submit your work, you're going to go find 2 classmates' work, and you're going to answer their questions. So you're going to kind of see if your classmates can figure out the answer to the questions that you write. So you're kind of quizzing them. You may need to have your text open in a different tab to go back and find the answers. So remember we talked about how to toggle back and forth with those tabs up top? You might need to click back and forth like this. Click, click, and then I can see it, okay? Leave the answers to your classmates' questions as comments on their work, okay? So that is your Seesaw assignment. It is in your activities under your reading folder, and you have everything you need right here, okay?